suffering. And we know that so many of our friends, our neighbors, our colleagues, our children, our grandchildren, everybody we know is suffering with something, whether it's spiritual, emotional, or physical. Are having so much success with the longevity message, spreading the longevity revolution across the globe, and we're even having so much success here in our own families, in our own team. And everywhere that we spread the message, we're seeing the fruits of our labor popping up. So I'd like to give a good shout out to our grand architect, the God of our creation, however you want to call him. God is awesome, because even Dr. Wallach will tell you when he gets up and speaks, he'll say, "To God be the glory," and we thank Jesus for this revolution. So this is the reason for the season, so let's just put that out there. Dr. Wallach couldn't have had this vision. He couldn't have had this vision without God giving him the vision and giving him the steps, ordering his steps to be able to be a trailblazer and a fireblazer on this mission. And so we definitely have to give the credit where credit is due. But let's talk about the longevity company. This is a company that has shared the most humanitarian expression of goodwill to humanity that I've ever seen. You know, Dr. Wallach he spoke in front of the United Nations, I believe, this month. He's been a trailblazer in championing for things that we couldn't even know to think about, like, you know, making sure that babies are healthy, making sure that athletes are healthy, making sure that the general public is healthy. And how has he done that? He's done that through a lot of courage. Dr. Wallach, if anybody's ever seen him live, you know that he is a ball of fire all by himself. He can light up a room. He don't even need you to be there. But the information that he has given the world has changed so many lives. And that's what we're here to do as the East Coast Spartan team. We're here to change lives and to make sure that we know that human suffering can be decreased. It doesn't have to stay. So the longevity revolution for the company, I guess they're synonymous because Dr. Wallach had a vision. We started in 1997, and that's a long time. We see a lot of companies that come out, and they're kind of these fly-by-night companies. I've heard a few companies come and go. I've been in a few companies that came and sort of kind of fizzled and never really got the momentum. And they didn't get the momentum, I'm not sure. But I know that without a vision, people perish, and Dr. Wallach definitely has the vision. It started in 1997. It's a debt-free company, and the headquarters is in Chula Vista, California, and we are on the stock exchange. When you're in a stock exchange, you know that you're bigwig because you have to be above board in everything you do in order to even get the status to do that. And so that's the kind of revolution or the type of people that we've connected ourselves with here on the East Coast. We're in good hands. And how I can say that is longevity is not just Dr. Wallach. He's the founder and the visionary, but he surrounded himself with some phenomenal leaders in different areas, especially a group of athletic advisors, scientists, researchers, other doctors, and we know that we have the best team of people that we can reach out to whenever we have a question about a longevity, whether longevity, how it's going to work. One of the things that I talk to people a lot, and they always go, "Oh my goodness, I have this issue. Is that going to work for me?" And I just kind of crickets because I'm like, of course it's going to work for you. I'm so confident in longevity's message that I kind of get this blank stare on my face, and I try not to show it because I understand what Dr. Wallach has done and what it means to everybody. So when we talk about that, briefly we can talk about the company in terms of how it's touching people's lives. It's touching families and homes. We're giving back to the community by the Wounded Warriors Project. We're even getting into things like weight loss and nutrition and detoxification of our home and herbal products. We know a lot of people are looking into something. When people call me, they say they're looking for a holistic doctor, or they're looking for a homeopath, or they're looking for a naturopath. What they're really saying is, or what they're really asking for, they're asking for someone who can give them support in all aspects of their life. And that's what longevity does. It gives you support in all aspects of our lives because Dr. Wallach, like I said, is a visionary, and he understood that it's not just what you eat or what you don't eat that causes a problem, but it's what you put in your skin, what you clean your home with, and also how you are as a human being. And the best way to stay healthy, honestly, is to continue to give when you have something to give. But don't give from an empty vessel. That's a whole other story. But it's a giving and receiving. So we're sharing the message and we're getting something in return. What are we getting? We're getting the satisfaction of knowing that we're doing our part as citizens of this world to help other people. And that's huge. And Dr. Wallach saw that vision in the longevity protocol. And that's why he's such a phenomenal individual. Let's talk about Dr. Wallach in terms of his foundership. Who is he? What does he do? What does he stand for? Well, first of all, he's a naturopath. A naturopath is an interesting kind of practitioner. Naturopaths are, number one, they're educators. And number two, a naturopath is one of the smartest, most intelligent practitioners you could ever come across, because our range of knowledge is so vast. Now, I won't say the naturopaths know everything, but rest assured there's enough components of the naturopath's arsenal of knowledge that you get a full circle of how to heal yourself, and that's why Dr. Wallach is so great. Allopathic doctors are concerned with pathology and pharmacology. They practice reductionist medicine. That's another story we can get into another time. But a naturopath is concerned with the whole person, and we get to the root cause of the problem. So we're looking at biochemical things like minerals and nutrients and how they affect every signal in the body, because there's billions of signals that go in every day. This is who Dr. Wallach is. He was nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize. Now, we know there's a lot of phenomenal doctors, but I don't know of any naturopath who's been nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize. Dr. Wallach has defeated the FDA 9 times and won. When you have a lawsuit, people go, okay, if you have a lawsuit and you won, you must have a lot of money. No, Dr. Wallach is not suing for money. He's suing to decrease human suffering for us, because guess what? He's learned and researched and has done histopathological slides and autopsies on so many specimens that he knows exactly what's happening. And in order for us to be him to be able to get that message worldwide so we can benefit from it, he had to sue. He had to sue the FDA to get them to come to his side of the equation. And guess what? He won every time. So that's definitely a kudos for Dr. Wallach, and it's definitely a blessing for us. Dr. Wallach has done over 26,000 autopsies. Me personally, I'm afraid of blood and cadavers. I don't know what that fear is about, but I don't like it. But for somebody to champion through that and to go through 26,000 of them, that says a lot. Again, that's commitment. That's dedication. That is courage to keep a movement forward. And that's why this revolution is so strong. The longevity revolution is a strong revolution. It's very strong. It's very solid, and I stand behind it 100%. Dr. Wallach is also the author of a best-selling audiobook, Dead Doctors Don't Lie. He's sold over, and I'm sure it's over that because every time we see him, his table is completely full to sell this book, even in conferences. 350 million copies sold. That's a testament in itself. So we know that Dr. Wallach is not just a name. He is a figure. He is a powerhouse. He is a magnificent man of God who's taken up his charge and said, I don't care who's watching, I'm going to say what I have to say, and I'm going to say it boldly. When you're in a revolution, you have to be bold. You can't be namby-pamby. You got to really just be confident in what you say, mean what you say, and say what you mean, and get it done. And that's Dr. Wallach. And because of that, he has this really wonderful slogan that I like. And he says, it's not what you eat that kills you, but what you don't eat. The key to good health is to give your body 90 essential nutrients, and we need that every day. And that's what he's talking about when he says it's not what you eat, is what you don't eat. A lot of people say, well, you are what you eat. If you eat dirt, you're going to be dirt. If you eat candy, you're going to be... Well, that's not necessarily true. If you eat bad things, it's going to come back and haunt you. We all know that from all experiences of our health challenges that we've either had personally or we've known other people to have. But it's really what you don't eat, but what you don't absorb. And to be honest with you, The food that we're eating doesn't have the 90 nutritional nutrients that Dr. Wallach is talking about. It doesn't have what it needs, and because it doesn't have what it needs, when we're eating, we're not getting what we need, and that's where we have problems. Dr. Wallach is such a phenomenal person in understanding this process. He was able to get access to a mine in Utah, and the mine in Utah is phenomenal. I've actually been to the mine. I have a big piece of the mineral on my desk downstairs. And what's in the mine? Thousands and thousands of years of minerals that came from the sea that's kind of buried under the earth. That's where Dr. Wallach found the magic to create the 90 for Life protocol. What makes it different than any other vitamin or mineral that you can get from any other place like GNC or Vitamin World is 90 to 98% bioavailable. I have a lot of clients that say, well, Dr. Reed, I take a one-a-day vitamin, or I take a Mega Woman or a Mega Man, or whatever the case that they're taking. And the first thing I ask them is, I said, well, how do you feel afterwards? Do you feel any better? And they go, well, I don't know. I don't feel any different. And that's a testament to absorbability. When you take nutrition, it should give you the spark of life. You have more energy. You have more vitality. You're energized. You have everything you need in order to be healthy and to keep your cells going. So when you take a vitamin, your cells are supposed to bump together and you're supposed to feel it. That's what happens when you take the 90 for Life protocol. And if you're not getting that cell bumping together experience when you take your nutrients, the problem could be twofold. Number one, you're not absorbing what's there. And number two, it's not complete because we need 90 essential nutrients, and that's already been established. We'll go through that a little bit further. So when we talk about the current health conditions of our community, our society at large, there's a problem. There's chronic diseases on the rise worldwide. So you have stuff like malaria, Zika viruses, you have flus, you have influenza. I was at the CVS, and now they're giving a pneumonia shot. Now they're giving shingle shots. That's just testament to the health status of our community at large. And the one big thing is nutritional deficiencies, and number two, immune function. So people have a lot of health ailments, and it's just not the United States, it's all over the world. However, the United States is on the rise for some of the highest statistics and some of the worst things we can think of. And the worst thing that comes to my mind is infant mortality. Infant mortality, United States has the highest infant mortality rate for children born within a 30-day period. And that might sound kind of a high statistic, but if you think about anybody that's having a new baby recently, in the recent years, you always hear about a child that's in NICU before they can come home. Whether they were born too soon or when they were born they had a problem, and then they're in a NICU. And then we have ADHD, ADHD, we have death at an early age. All this stuff is on the rise. And you know what? Our lifespan is becoming less and less because of it. So why is this? Well, here's some more alarming data. I know we know someone who has Alzheimer's. I know that we know someone who has medical negligence. I know we know lots of people, even children, who suffer from obesity. And autism is a word that I hadn't heard at all when I was growing up. All of a sudden, over the past 10 or 15 years, the buzzword is autism. Autism speaks, autism awareness, autism walks. Why is that? We have more and more people getting gastric bypass surgeries to get rid of excess fat. We hear there's Alzheimer's communities, Alzheimer's walks, there's Alzheimer's assisted living, there's Alzheimer's wards in hospitals. And then, of course, we can't forget medical negligence, where a person might have suffered an additional illness because of a medication, or an additional illness because of a surgery, or maybe even death because of some sort of thing that a doctor shouldn't have done and they did, and then they said, oh, oops. They're saying oops, and we're crying. So there's an alarming data in our current medical system. But here's the solution. The solution is very simple, and Dr. Wallach has put it together very cleverly, because when we think of it, it's a 90 for life solution. And the 90 for life solution is really cool, because it actually takes 90 days for every cell in your body to regenerate, except your central nervous system. But it also takes 90 nutrients, during that 90-day period. So that word, that number 90 is very significant. And we need 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 2 to 3 essential fatty acids. That combination alone comes in 3 proprietary, fantastic, strong, bioavailable nutrients in a powder and a liquid form, and that would be Beyond Tangy Tangerine, OsteoFX, and EFA Plus. I'll explain that a little bit further in the presentation. But it only takes 3 products to give you the 90 essential nutrients. One person asked me on a television show, she says, "Oh my God, you mean I have to take 90 different pills? I'm not doing that." She said, "I'd eat shoe if I had cancer to cure it, but I'm not taking 90 pills." And I said, wait a minute, wind it back. You're not taking 90 pills. This formula is so complete, it's in a powder form, and you just mix it up according to your weight to make sure you get the proper dosage in some purified water, and your body gets what it needs and absorbs it very quickly. And she says, whew, okay, well, if it's that simple, then I think I can take it. I said, absolutely you can take it, and I would not recommend you eating shoe leather. And she just started to laugh. The 90 for Life message is so clear that not only does it help with general health problems, and we'll get into those, but if you ever want to lose any weight, the 90 for Life protocol is phenomenal because Dr. Wallach has put together what we call the Healthy Body 90 for Life challenges. The 90 for Life challenges basically says if you give us 90 days, we can ensure that your body will be different 90 days prior. And how is that possible? Because I've already explained, every single cell in your body regenerates, and it takes 90 days, except your central nervous system. Don't forget that exception. Central nervous system takes a little longer. But at any rate, it's those 90 days, and with those 90 essential nutrients, when your cells, the new cells, grow or develop, they're stronger than the ones that just died off. And if you continue on that 90-day pattern, you'll get stronger and stronger and stronger. And what does that do? That gives the body the ability to heal itself. What is the body healing itself from? Well, obesity is one. And you would say, is obesity a disease? Well, actually it is. Most people think disease is a disease of greedy people, and that couldn't be farther from the truth. You can have people that are overweight that don't eat a lot, or you can have people who are overweight that do eat a lot. The mechanism in between is the lack of nutrition. When the body is signaling for hunger in the brain, it's signaling for nutrition. When you give the body nutrition, then over time the body will learn that it has what it needs, and the fat that you have on your body is now used for fuel. So you have a lot of people who have taken the 90 for Life challenge, and weight just drops off. I'm one of them. I have a before fat and after picture, and I show my fat pictures proudly because I love myself fat or healthy, either way. The other part of being healthy is just accepting yourself for who you are, where you are, and then making a commitment like Dr. Wallach did to make a change and stay on course for that change, and you will definitely see some transformation. What else does 90 for Life Nutrition do? Well, let's just talk about some of the ailments that a lot of people are experiencing. So there are over 275 diseases related to calcium deficiencies. And I know that there is this huge list of what those 275 diseases could be. But one of the things that we do as consumers is we have an ailment, and we've been brainwashed to self-diagnose, but we do it wrong. And so we're taking over-the-counter medication for a condition that's really signaling a deficiency, but we give it a drug. And I'll give you a few examples. A panic attack. I used to suffer from severe panic attacks. Severe. I would go to the hospital, and they would give me Xanax or Valium or some other drug to calm me down. I know people have also suffered from insomnia and joint pain and nervous twitches, we call them Charlie horses, or even vertigo or depression or something as simple as brittle nails. We're self-diagnosing, so if you had brittle nails, you try some keratin treatments or some really heavy-duty, expensive nail polish, and you're wondering what's the problem. These problems are all calcium deficiencies. Wow. Calcium deficiency is even associated with high and low blood pressure, irritability, arthritis, Bell's palsy, even a dowager's hump. You see little old adorable older adults walking around with the little hump, and it's the cutest thing ever because they're just trotting along. That's a calcium deficiency. So when you understand that it's nutrition that drives health and the lack of nutrition that drives dis-ease, it's easy to see how the 90 for Life protocol can fit into your life, because 275 diseases are associated with just a calcium deficiency alone. Then we talk about sugar. If you turn on a television, you're going to be bombarded by two things. Number one, the season of the new episodes of your favorite shows, but two things that stick out for me. It's the food advertising and it's the drug advertising. The food advertising is always a carbohydrate. You never see a commercial about a vegetable or a fruit, except for cranberries for cranberry juice. But you always see pizza, pasta, Pop-Tarts, Olive Garden, which is pasta. You see cakes and cookies, Pillsbury Doughboy, muffins, hot dogs, but you never see any food of substance. So what that's doing is subliminally, that's kind of giving us a subconscious cue that it's okay to eat all this sugar. Well, that couldn't be further from the truth, because the more sugar you eat, the more carbohydrate sensitive you have, and it creates severe sugar imbalances. And some sugar imbalances can be associated with 125 health issues. So a few of them. Night sweats. Who would have thought that a night sweat was a sugar imbalance? Learning disabilities. Excessive thirst and urination. Fainting spells. Fatigue, hyperactivity, hypoglycemia, depression, bedwetting. I have a woman that came to me, and she was very frustrated because her son was like 6 years old, and he was still wet in the bed. And they were punishing the child for not being able to hold his bladder. You should know better. What are you doing? We've taught you this, blah, 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 blah. And I asked her, I said, well, how much sugar are you giving him? And she said, well, what does that have to do with it? He's 6 years old. He needs to know better. I said, well, come on, let's dial it back. Your body is responding to environmental and nutritional cues. Your body is constantly signaling, and it's reacting to what you do to it, what you give to it, ingest, or what you expose it to. And she says, well, in his lunch, he has a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I give him some cookies, and I might give him a fruit cup and a roll-up. An afternoon snack, his teacher might give him cookies. And I said, is this every day? And she says, yeah, this is every day. And so now you wonder why this little 6-year-old can't hold his bladder, because he's being fed carbohydrates. Interesting dynamic. Same thing for older adults who are incontinent. That's something we want to think about. With incontinence, if instead of investing in Depends and getting a stock in Depends company, maybe we should look at the content of sugar in the diet. There's 175 problems associated with cholesterol deficiencies. This is one of my A1 favorites because I grew up eating canola oil and sunflower oil and all those exotic oils that I know now are not good for you because they create oxidative damage, but also country crock. And I can't believe it's not butter. And I was chic and I ate egg whites with spinach and Brussels sprouts and thinking I was healthy. And this was causing severe health problems. Cholesterol deficiency is one of those problems that people really can't wrap their head around because their doctors have always told them that butter was bad, eggs was bad, so we have egg beaters. Eat low-fat milk, not whole-fat milk, low-fat cheese, not whole-fat cheese. Well, when you take the cholesterol out of your diet, you rob your body's ability to produce hormones and to do a lot of other metabolic functions that cholesterol is responsible for, especially it creates the lipid layer of the cell, giving the cell its structure. And when you have a weak cell structure, then you have a weak person because weak cells become cell clusters become organs, and organs become organ systems. So you can see how cholesterol creates a huge problem if there's a deficiency. So there's 175 problems associated with cholesterol deficiencies. And if we stay on the side of aesthetics, even brittle hair is a cholesterol deficiency. Eczema is a cholesterol deficiency, essential fatty acid deficiency. Alopecia, acne. You have teenagers or even adult onset acne, and they think that it's too much oil or too many fried foods. In a way, but the real idea is you have a lack of cholesterol. Cholesterol is responsible for A man-made disease that we all know the name of starts with an A. And the cholesterol deficiency is caused by doctors making us believe over time that cholesterol is bad. And since cholesterol is bad, we have to reduce it. Reducing cholesterol using cholesterol-lowering drugs has been one of the worst things that's ever came into our society, according to Dr. Wallach. It is a man-made disease, and because of it, we have Alzheimer's. Why is that? Well, if you're not giving your body cholesterol and you're lowering it, and it needs it for all these metabolic functions, then the body's going to take cholesterol out of the largest source, which is the brain. And when you take cholesterol out of the brain to use for other metabolic functions, it causes the brain to start short-circuiting. And there is a difference between dementia and Alzheimer's. Dementia, you forget a few things, and that's also a nutritional deficiency. And sometimes you have long-term memory recall and not short-term. But cholesterol is more insidious, where it entangles the brain so much that the brain forgets certain functions. So a person can forget how to walk one day and go walk outside and get lost another. So you never know what to expect with an Alzheimer's patient. But the reality is it's a man-made disease. It's an essential fatty acid deficiency, which means we all need essential fatty acids. Another thing essential fatty acids will cause is cardiovascular disease, multiple sclerosis. It'll even cause miscarriages. I know lots of people who have had miscarriages, and nobody ever thought to check their cholesterol levels. If anything, they're going to tell you, oh, your cholesterol is too high. So that cholesterol issue is something that we really need to kind of educate our family members and our friends about in our community, because that's one hidden component that we're doing every day to ourselves and we don't even realize it in the name of my doctor said. And that's one of the reasons why Dr. Wallach says this is a revolution, because we have to do some radical things. And radical things says we have to do things completely different than what we've known, because what we've known has not given us the results we're looking for. And so it takes courage and a forward-thinking person to drop their old belief system and say, okay, my old paradigm wasn't working, I have to pick up a new one. And that's what Dr. Wallach offers. He offers a new paradigm shift for us to move in the direction of health and wellness. Digestion problems is something that happens all the time, every time, for most people. And I can say for most people because most people accept a gastrointestinal issue as their norm, and they don't see it as a problem. So, for instance, if you have jock itch, or if you have gas and bloating or belching, people will think that's normal. Well, I'm belching because, and we explain it away all day, every day, don't we? We have an explanation for it all. But the real problem is there is not enough gastrointestinal acid to break down stuff because we've taken salt out of the food. And as a result of that, the gut has gotten damaged because of gluten foods, and so many other things are happening. But there is a way to handle the gut problem. So when I talk to people and they say, well, somebody told me to come to you because they said that you can help me with my diverticulitis, or I have irritable bowel syndrome, IBS. They give everything a really cute acronym. Or I have celiac disease. Well, what they're talking about is the same thing. What they're talking about is a malabsorption problem, a lack of hydrochloric acid to break down fats and proteins, and a lot of times you have not the proper enzymes to break down food, the probiotics and the prebiotics that's needed to break down. That's good bacteria to break down foods in the gut, and the body just can't do what it needs to do. Why? Because we're taking medication, we're eating foods that's causing problems, we're eating all this sugar, we're taking cholesterol. It's a whole big old pizza. If you can imagine a pepperoni pizza with the works on it, our bodies are very similar to that. And when you start adding everything in the kitchen sink that the body doesn't need, then the body will definitely break down. It's going to manifest in a lot of different ways. There's allergies and food sensitivities. Even a hiatal hernia is a gastrointestinal problem. I had a gentleman that came to see a presentation. He loved the presentation. He believed in it. He did everything he needed to do. And he actually went forth and got a CEO detox pack. Not only did he get a CEO detox pack, he bought an additional detox pack for his wife. And what happened was, I called him several times. He said, I'm going to take it. He never took it. 4 months went by, and I went back and asked him, have you taken it? He says, no, I haven't opened the box yet, but next week I have a surgery for hiatal hernia. And my face just dropped. So we have the remedy in the 90 for Life protocol. All we have to do is take it. The last thing that I want to get into, the last two things, is oxidative damage and detoxification. Oxidative damage is really bad in the body. So what is oxidation? Oxidation is rust. If your car started rusting at the bottom, you'd freak out because you know that means that if I don't do something about this rust, the car's going to keep rusting. What happens when you cut an apple or a banana and let it sit on the counter? It turns brown. That's oxidative damage. We get oxidative damage in our bodies as well, and that also creates a problem. So we need the proper antioxidants for that. What happens when you have oxidative damage? Well, again, aging, Alzheimer's, cancer. A lot of people have cancer. Cancer's popping up everywhere. But we have so much oxidative damage. Why? Because we're eating oils and all the things that create oxidative stress on the body. Age spots, vision problems, myocardial infarction, which is a heart attack. So the 90 for Life protocol just says if you take 90 essential nutrients every single day and give your body what it needs, take away what it doesn't, you can help your body fight off, defend, and heal so you won't have to go through these debilitating diseases. Now, nutrition doesn't cure anything. I can't say that, but Dr. Wallach can. What he does say is it gives your body the building blocks and the opportunity to heal itself, and it doesn't matter what you call the disease, because all diseases leading to death, according to Dr. Wallach, are simple nutritional deficiencies. One of the things that we definitely need to do when we're embarking on a nutrition program is to clean out our liver. The liver is the largest organ of the body. It does some phenomenal work, but it's also our toxic waste receptacle, and it's holding on to toxins. And the more toxins you have in your body, the less likely you're able to even absorb the nutrition that you put it in. So when you want to embark on a nutritional program to help your body heal from all the diseases that we've just talked about and prevent them in general, then it's incumbent upon you to do a cleanse, a liver cleanse. A liver cleanse is a phenomenal product that's in the 90 for Life protocol. We call the CEO Detox Mega Pack. That is the pack that's going to get your health jump-started in the right direction. And so what will be able to happen is you will be able to experience for yourself the magnificent magnitude of the 90 for Life protocol. How? More energy, improved bowel function. You'll find that things are healing all over the place. If you get a paper cut, it's going to heal. But guess what? If you have 90 essential nutrients, your body's going to heal from almost anything. Not almost. It will. It's going to take some time depending on the level of severity of the challenge, but your body can do that if you give it what it needs. And that's what the 90 for Life protocol promotes. If you give your body what it needs and take away what it doesn't, it's going to heal itself. And that's the message. That's the revolution. That's the courage and the fire that Dr. Wallach brings to the global stage for healing. If you heard something that has changed your perspective, please get back to the person who's invited you to the call so you can learn more, so you can not only join the revolution, but also be part of our success stories. We all are a success story in our own right. Dr. Richardson, back to you.
Okay, wow, Dr. Reed, that's super fantastic. I'm going to open up the line so everyone can say good day and just to thank you for that presentation. Hold on a second.